Welcome everyone to our 141st episode under Trends Literature series. As you all know, it's a platform for very engaging conversations with some very interesting authors on their engaging books and the story behind their story. I I request you all to please subscribe to our channel and obviously press the bell icon so that you would get some automatic notifications on all our latest episodes. And I welcome today an author we had been wanting to conversate with for a very long time. Somehow it didn't happen earlier, but now today we are making it happen against all odds, which I and Aruna knows about. And we are going to discuss her book, Hotel Adventures with the Stars. This is the book that I'm going to show you. If you haven't read it, you must. It's very interesting. If you're just fascinated with number of celebrities, Aruna has had more than her fair share of celebrities in her life, and she's put together in the form of a fantastic book. Around 26, 27 celebrities that we've
27.
come to know
Biggest
so
one.
closely through her. So I welcome you, Aruna, on our platform. It's such a pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you, Neeta. Thank you so much. Thank you for your kind words. And thank you for inviting me to your lovely podcast. You've had a lovely set of, a string of guests with from different genre, different walks of life. And I'm so happy to, come to your chamber with my book, with my beautiful memoir called Hotel Adventures with the Stars. So really looking forward to this conversation with you.
Aruna, you've been an international hospitality person, writer, brand management specialist, author, poet, and definitely it's a pleasure and it's an honor to have you with us today on our
Shukriya.
141st
Thank you.
episode. And I must tell everyone that Hotel Adventures with the Stars, it's a roller coaster ride with very funny, thrilling, and heartwarming encounters with everyone's heartthrobs like Hrithik Roshan, Kapil Dev, Madhuri Dixit, and so many of them that you discover. So Aruna, how was it reliving your past? I'm sure your life's pages unfolding in front of you with the diverse range of personalities that we have been talking about. So how did you really do this? I mean, how did you get inspired to write such a book?
Well, it was, first of all, I was not new to celebrities, even before my hotel life, my hotel career started. I was somehow in the orbit of known faces from the very beginning.
I
To really go back to the childhood, time, when I was just about 3.5 or 4, I used to be visiting with Ustad Vilayat Khan Saab's, house for his house parties. He was a very party-giving person. And my father was a close friend of his. So I remember going to his house and then hearing him perform. Imagine to a select group of, close friends. And now when I look back and I feel what a privilege it was, because, people would give their right arm and leg to hear somebody like, Vilayat Khan or somebody of his stature perform on stage. But one could hear him perform, in his beautiful front lawns, or hear his son, the now legendary sitar maestro himself, Ustad Shujat Hussain Khan, perform as a child. He was just breaking into the music scene himself. So really, it goes back to that. And then I grew up in Dehradun, as many people know. So I had the good fortune of befriending another legend, Ruskin Bond, and growing up in his shadow, shoving my writing, my prose, my loosely written verses, my poetry under his nose, and telling him to, tell me, asking him to tell me how did it find it, did he see any merit in my writing? Was I going to turn out to be a good writer? And enjoying his encouragement and his, appreciation and his largesse and the large-heartedness with which he encouraged me. So I was not new to celebrities. But with hotel career, yes, I came too much in close proximity with a range of celebrities, from different professions, from politics to sport to music to films, definitely Hollywood, Bollywood, from royalties, the whole lot of them. So it's been an interesting, like you said, roller coaster life. And some of the stories are, told in my fantastic memoir.
So very right. You've just mentioned Mr. Ruskin Bond, and you also said somewhere in the book that as authors, we must always plan to leave a rich
Yes,
legacy of literature
yes,
behind
yes.
while we are mortal.
That's right.
Your books always live forever. Your book has a foreword by a master storyteller, Ruskin Bond, and that is definitely the cherry on the top in the book. I mean, but how's your equation with Ruskin Bond still? I mean, he's written a forward to the book, and I'm sure all these years of relationship, and you managed a forward in your book. I remember you've also mentioned the chapter on Khushwant Singh that he also
Yes,
wrote a
yes.
forward for one of your earlier writings that you were doing.
No, no, to correct you slightly on that,
Yeah, please.
Mr. Singh was, he agreed to write a foreword for my book on Indians that I was all set to do.
Hmm.
And like I said, I write that in one of the chapters on the chapter on Khushwant Singh himself, that my bad luck that I did not finish that book in
Yeah.
his own lifetime, where one had the good fortune of, enjoying the opportunity of getting a forward from another master storyteller and a man of high letters really. If that would have happened, it would have been really good. But now with this book, I'm so grateful and so full of humility and really modesty that somebody of the stature of Ruskin Bond agreed to pen a forward and a nice forward for Tell Adventures with the Stars. But he's always liked my writing. Like I said, when I was growing up, and I would shove my unbaked writing under his nose. Even then, he had some good things to say, and he's continued to say that for the book as well. So I'm really, really grateful to Mr. Bond, really.
And not only that, whenever I go to Missouri and London, I always look forward that I
Yes,
must someday meet Mr. Ruskin Bond.
that's
It
right.
has not happened till now, but I'm sure I
Yes,
will ask you to
I'm sure
accompany
you
me the
will.
next time.
As we found out, a little while earlier in the evening, you're extremely zealous and determined. You made sure that a talk and conversation happened. So I'm sure let's throw it up in the universe. You will meet
Yes.
Ruskin Bond, inshallah, sooner
Thank
than
you.
later.
Thank you so much. You also mentioned, the Doon Valley definitely holds some very special memories for you because
Yes.
of Mr. Vilayat Khan's music stories. So, how did those early cultural influences really shape your later interactions with
I,
celebrities in the entertainment industry?
when you have a opportunity to hobnob with the right kind of people, and by right kind I mean not fame or power or anything like that, but people who are elevated in their station in life, people who have evolved themselves creatively, intellectually, spiritually. When you have the privilege of spending whatever little time you can with them, it refines you as a person. It grows you as a person. It evolves you as well. And it sort of then from that point on, it makes you more sensitive, more sensible, and it sharpens your sensibilities. And that sort of I think shapes and fine tunes and grinds your outlook towards life and your associations with a lot of other people around you. So I think that's a great way to mature as a person and a personality. And I hope some of those associations have contributed to, how I have been professionally and personally, Neeta.
Oh, very right. But how did, because you've been so closely involved because of your job as the highest of positions in the PR and communications
Yes.
industries in various in Oberoi's Hyatt, in Australian
Serial.
Embassy.
Yes.
But how did the interactions with celebrities really shape your perception of fame and success? From a distance, one feels that, okay, this is how it is, but you've been very closely involved with a lot of celebrities. So, how did it help you to shape your perception of fame and success?
I had been one sort of a funny incident I'd like to share with you, and that's part of the book as well. I have been very quirky, and I've been a very different kind of person. I don't follow the same path as everybody does. I've really taken on a different road to paraphrase Robin Frost.
Hmm.
When I was a young girl, and I was in about, I think I was just I was on the threshold of, leaving my teenage years and getting on to my younghood. I think I was 19 when I met Sanjay Dutt. And I remember
Yeah.
him asking me, would you not like to take my dress so that you can write a fan letter to me? And I
Yeah.
said, no, Sanjay, I'd like to give you mine because I, I want you to write a letter to me so that then I know that you want to communicate with me, and like a little chit of a 19-year-old person from Doon Valley talking to a sexy hunk of a,
I know.
a rock star hero who had really broken onto the Indian movie scene that time, and was being swooned over by all sort of, teenage and young girls. I had the gall to say that to him. And somehow that really defines my mindset around celebrities. I've never been overawed by celebrityhood, they've always been normal people for me. Whether I was in hotels, met them outside of hotels, I've never been sort of overawed, zapped by their, scintillation, so to say. And so much that at one point I was, going to call my book Not So Starstruck. Till my agent said, my agent who is Suhail Mathur of the Book Bakers, he said, people won't understand what you're trying to say. Let's make it a more popular title. And he sort of was hell bent on calling it Hotel Adventures with the stars. And I'm happy that he did that. But my title was going to be Not So Starstruck to define how I have taken sort of my association with or my involvement with, superstars around me. So I've not really been affected, but how it's affected my thought about fame and success is that one, it's very ephemeral. It's here today, gone tomorrow. Nothing is certain. You can hold on to it as much as you can, but you can only hold on to it by own effort, Neeta. And that's proven for everybody, whether they're movie stars or music legends or famous writers. You're only as good as your work, and only your work can carry you forward. The moment you cease to, put in good amount of work, you are forgotten, and you pass into oblivion. So that's something that I have, realized, and my association with big names have taught me really that only hard work can sustain you. Only good work can carry your name forward. And the quote that I wrote one time, and I'm glad you quoted it here again. As writers, you have the propensity and the opportunity and the gift to leave a rich legacy behind. Let's sort of hold it with both the hands and make good of it, because you're going to be, all of us are mortal, but our words really, really tend to live forever. So that's something that I've learned from people I have sort of associated myself with,
I,
Anita.
I know, these 27 chapters that you've written, and they always begin with, you can make out the rest of the chapter with that. And you've written those few lines very,
Yes,
very
yes.
well. I mean, that goes
Thank
to
you.
show that, you've really taken it up very seriously. And it
Thank
was,
you.
it was lovely reading your book.
Thank you, darling.
With encounters ranging from Hrithik Roshan, Sanjay Dutt, the baddies of the
Yes,
world, to the literary personalities. I
yes.
mean, as you mentioned in the beginning, I mean, a wide range of people across all genres of
Yes.
life. But how did you really navigate the varied dynamics between Bollywood, between the literary personalities, and any surprising similarities or differences that you saw in these interactions? Anything that really struck you that, yes, that is where they're different? Literature to Bollywood to everywhere, to Kiran Bedi, Maneka
I
Gandhi.
feel, somehow, strangely, even Madhuri Dixit, when I met her, she was, at her prime. She was the
Yes.
queen bee of Bollywood, and she'd given a spate of huge, huge hits. But when I met her, she was just a normal person.
Mm.
And I did not see any hint of arrogance or attitude in her. And so much, what really touched me, and that's part of my chapter as well, I was late. Somebody who reads the
Yeah.
book will know that I was late in meeting her. And she apologized to me when she didn't have, because she was what she was. So at the end of the day, at the bottom of it, everybody's the same. No one's different. I think personality types are more different than, the fields people come from. We've seen some writers who can be so full of themselves, and Mr. Naipaul, for one, he never had a good word to say to anybody, but he was a genius, and he was sort of fated and revered for what he brought to the world of literature. But on the other hand, Khushwant Singh was so blatant and so blunt, and he would speak his mind. Yet at the, inside his heart, he was a very good person, a very good human being. Anybody who's known him loves Khushwant Singh. Ruskin Bond, I don't think there's anybody who would not like him for what he is. Likewise, from the world of movies, Jackie Shroff.
I know.
That's one person who is known to be good with everybody. There's a very funny example I give about Jackie Shroff's niceness, and his basic nature, which he doesn't change with anybody. I asked him to wish my daughter, my German Shepherd daughter, baby Barkat,
Yes.
and
Such a
very
beautiful baby.
enthusiastically, very enthusiastically, he'll send a birthday wish, and he will say, "Happy birthday, Barkat, Barkat bani rahe," and woof woof and all that. Then after some baby Barkat's birthday happens in April. In October, it's Mr. Bachchan's birthday, and I heard him send a voice note to Mr. Bachchan on his birthday, on the mega star's birthday, and Mr. Shroff was just the same kind of emotion, same kind of niceness, same kind of sincerity. So really, I mean, a big movie star who's so relevant even today, such a big name, but he's all gold heart, he's all pure heart, and just the same with everybody. On the other hand, there could be another actor or another film star who may be very supercilious and very sort of, hoity-toity and very sort of full of, self-pride. So really, it's not really a genre or walk of life. It's more the personalities who could differ. People could be good, anywhere, and people could be stooges anywhere, So really that.
But I think you've been also very innovative in your, in your job profile, in the sense that I remember reading that you got Mr. Khushwant Singh to the famous Japanese restaurant TK's, and
Yes,
you introduced the
yes,
concept
yes,
of cooking with
yes,
celebrities. I
yes.
think, the kind of work is so right you were doing in the hospitality and you're still doing as a writer. I feel that really definitely earns a lot of respect. And you're
Thank
right. I mean, you are ultimately at the end of the day how you are behaving yourself, and how much you're doing and how much of a difference you're making through your work. So I
thank
think hats off to you. I suppose that is how it's been. I've seen a lot of respect for you among all these celebrities, and you
thank
could be
you,
so much
thank you.
close to most of them.
Thank you. Like I was telling Vikram Oberoi, the scion of the Oberoi family, only recently I sent a signed copy of the book to him. And Mr. Vicky Oberoi, his father has written a very nice endorsement for the book and for me. And I was telling somebody that, when I was at the Oberoi, I was instrumental in getting a film shoot happen at the Oberoi, with Meera Nair, and that was the first that the Oprah had seen, and I don't think it's been repeated even after that. So yeah, you're right. When you are doing a creative role and you have challenges and opportunities to sort of think out of the box, you want to be able to bring the best to the table and grab any great chance that comes your way and make good for your role and for the company that you represent. And I've been fortunate to sort of do some of that really for the various companies.
I remember this special story on Maneka Gandhi that you did. I mean, I know you're fond of dogs, and
Yes,
you've also adopted rescue dogs, and
yes,
you do a lot for the dogs. And in current scenario, it makes a lot of sense.
yes,
We daily hear such tragic stories of how dogs are being treated, the pets. I mean, they need to be. I mean, somebody told me that if each and every stray dog is adopted in India, I think there'll be no stray dogs left out. And you have been always very close to the cause. So, how would you describe your interaction and your closeness to Menka Gandhi? I know she's doing a great job. So, how did you really get moved by what she's doing? I know
well,
this
it,
cause
it,
was very close to your heart, but
absolutely. And perhaps that's the reason why Menka ji and I continue to work in all the hotels. In fact,
yeah.
I write that in the book. I sort of mentioned that incident when I was at the Oberoi. We did several events together for People for Animals, of which she's the chairperson, and mainly because they were all animal centric, animal focused issues that she was trying to sort of propagate and talk about
Mm,
and raise funds for. When I went to the Imperial, immediately I get a letter from Menkaji's office, and Menkaji calls me and says, well, we followed you, from over
Mm.
to Imperial. You're here and we are here, and let's work together again. And at the Imperial again, we did a lot of events, for Menkaji's outfit. I think what she's done is commendable, highly commendable. She is the face and the voice for the
Yes.
voiceless, and she's just been completely unceased in her efforts. She continues. She will pick up a cause. She recently I heard that a lot of people, a lot of NGOs have come up, and a lot of them are doing a whole lot of good work, and some are also getting a lot of bad name for not doing what they are meant to do and misusing the funds. But People for Animals or Sanjay Gandhi Animal Care Center is
Mm.
one place where a lot of friends have told me that even if you call them from Gurgaon and they are Central Delhi based, if there's one outfit, there's one organization that will reach out and do their bit, is Sanjay Gandhi Animal Care Center.
No
And that
doubt.
really goes back to the founder's sentiment and her seriousness and her involvement with the cause. It's always, as it happens in corporate organizations, how the organization climate is, it always flows down from top down. If the top dog is nice and just and fair and a good playing person, the entire organization is going to be like that. On the other hand, if he's, snoopy, gossipy, happy to invite backbiting, happy to sort of create factions, the entire organization is going to be politically charged. So I think why Sanjay Gandhi Animal Care Center or PFA has done good work is because Maneka Gandhi is like that. And I think that's one connect that I feel very, very strongly with her. Well, that's the closest connect I have with Maneka Gandhi. Really, it's the animal bond, Neeta.
Yes, I think with each and every story that you have penned down in this book, I think with each and every person, you have a different kind of a relationship. And I'm sure I'm coming to this question, which is really bugged my mind. Choosing stories for your memoir must have been definitely challenging because these are not the only 27 celebrities that
No,
or
you're right.
people of eminence that you came across. You've had a wide span of career. So how did you really decide which celebrities encounter to include, and were there any left out that you found particularly difficult to omit?
That's a very interesting question, and I'm surprised that you asked me that question. Not many people have asked me that before. You're right. There have been a whole lot of celebrities or known faces one has met, interacted with, associated with, got to know,
Hmm.
friended, or just met as acquaintances. So there was a whole lot. But when I was working on the memoir, I zeroed down to 52 names really.
My
And
God.
they people who I had known with a little relevant, good amount of proximity, really.
Hmm.
With one didn't want to talk about just mere acquaintances. So there were 52 names, and they spanned again sport, literature, music, films,
I know.
so on and so forth, but
Thoughts.
also Hollywood and Bollywood, right?
Yeah.
But it was the credit has to go to my agent who said that 52 names for one book, and of course the word count really went over the roof. I had penned down, when I was working on the manuscript, I penned down about 1,40,000 words, and I worked on the manuscript for about 14 months. But then he said, let's not put everything out in the first book. Let not the book be too long, too lengthy, because readers have very minuscule attention span these days. And he cherry picked and said, okay, let's go on to just hotels and just sort of more Bollywood, or sort of Bollywood related, with a few sprinkling of other celebrity, other luminaries, and we zero down to 27 names. So you're right. They're given that Hotel Adventures with the Stars Part 1 has done so well and resonated so strongly with readers, which is a happy surprise for me. There is a Part 2 on the anvil, definitely, Neeta, with more such big names.
I know. You've mentioned about one chapter on Anil and Tina Ambani
Yes,
also. I'd like you to talk about it because they are like, they're not there so much to the
yes.
public eye as the other Ambanis, and I'm sure I'd like to know about them more.
It was with Tina G, definitely. I've sort of met her more frequently than I have met Anu G. But the first time I met Tina Ambani, and I don't want to sort of we should do a reveal all of the stories, but it was a very strange interaction. And I said something to her which a normal civilized
Husband.
person, let alone person from a PR background, would say to a well-known face. But I said it to her because
Yes.
I think I am like that. I don't have too many layers to my sort of,
I know what you told her.
yes,
Right?
and you will not mention it on your show. And she took it very nicely, Neeta. So it really
Yeah.
goes back to show what kind of a person she is.
When I
And
was reading, I went back, I said,
yes,
really?
should I say
You
that?
understand?
Absolutely. And then years later, I met her again, and then I met her again, and then I met her again. And every time I met her, it was as if she's known me so well and so strongly, and as friends. So I think when people who are, somebody in their profession, when they have reached a certain stature, when they meet a common person with so much of niceness and fondness, I think the credit goes to them more than anything, for them to have maintained that niceness about it, really. Like I said, they didn't have done any of that. But when they meet you like that, another person I must mention here is Hrithik Roshan. When
Yeah.
I met him, again, he's always been a superstar.
Mm.
But when I met him, and when the association, the interaction carried on, the way he interacted and the way he came around, the way he sort of communicated, everybody was surprised. Not just me, but everybody else was surprised that he could be so genuinely nice and so genuinely warm and grounded. So I think the credit goes to a whole lot of them for being the way they are. You know.
So right. You've also mentioned about Meera Nair, Neha Dhupia, the list goes on, Poonam Dhillon.
Yes.
I mean, Shabana Azmi,
Sharmila Tagore,
Sharmila Tagore. Yeah,
Shashi Kapoor, who
I know.
happens to
Shashi
be
Kapoor,
both.
you must tell
Yes,
us about that.
yes, both.
You've been a big fan of Shashi
I am
Kapoor
a
and you
big
meet
fan of
him.
Shashi Kapoor. I wish I had, got to know him a lot more than I did. But such a nice person, such a nice person, and so warm, so sort of, gentlemanly, and so sexy. My God, when I met him, he was
Not well, also.
not
Yeah.
well, and had aged much more than his real actual age was, because of all that he's gone through in his life. He took loss very strongly. He took grief very, very harshly. He did not react, or he did not make grief a good bedfellow, really. He
Mm.
suffered from his wife's, Jennifer's, loss
Yeah.
very acutely, very deeply, very sort of, severely.
Yes.
So I met him at that time. But even in spite of all that, Neeta, such a sexy man, you know. So when you talk
Yes.
about, what have I learned from some of these people? Sexy is a sexy does. You could be wheelchair bound, you could be graying, you could be aged, you could be grief stricken. But if you're sexy, you are sexy. You don't have to,
I
you,
know.
you don't have to wear certain kind of clothes or talk a certain language or adopt a certain style to be sexy. Sexy is one of the ingrained qualities that I learned from Mr. Shashi Kapoor, really. And my God, so suave, such a great, conversationalist, such good
Very
communication
elegant,
skills, really.
sophisticated.
So fabulous, fabulous, really.
I
And
think with him, you really had a fangirl moment.
absolutely, absolutely, without saying, without any
Yes.
doubt, definitely.
I
Yes,
could make out when I was
yes,
reading the
yes.
chapter on him that yes, here was
That's that's
somebody he was she
you're
was
right. Not with Sanjay Dutt, not with Hrithik
yeah, I know.
Roshan, but with Shashi Kapoor.
With all of them you were pretty
Yeah,
normal.
I
I
was working at the same level, so to say. At
I
least in the
right.
mind.
Yeah,
But
even Madhuri
Mr.
Dixit
Shashi
saying
Kapoor,
I'm
I
sorry
was a
to
complete fangirl. Yes,
yes.
yes.
So, uh, coming to this question that in this world of memoirs, especially, what do you believe makes Hotel Adventures with the Stars truly one of its kind? Your book?
The stories really, the stories are so fascinating. Some of them have told me their greatest secrets.
Yeah.
There is a chapter on, well, you know who I'm talking about. The readers will, discover who I'm talking about, really.
Yes.
Some of them have opened their heart to me
Yeah.
publicly. Some of them have shown their weakest side to me in the book. But also why it is one of a kind is that it's a well, there's no book. I did a lot of research on this. I have not found any other book of this
Mhm.
kind out, in the world of literature, in the world of letters, as of now, where somebody has done their encounters special encounters, true story encounters, and written them in the book. What also is special is that it's not only a hotel and celebrity mixed book, but it's also somehow leaving life lessons, with each chapter, with each personality. There are some nice attributes that you can pick up without trying to be preachy, without trying to, assume the mantle of a self-help book or any such kind. The
Yeah.
stories themselves, the personalities therein are leaving very nice, very lasting life lessons. So
Mm.
it's really a mix of all this that's making it a one of its kind memoir. That people are really. I'm surprised people are loving it so much. Writers have this, or the publishing industry has this penchant for calling everything a best-selling book, right? I mean, people want to get that tag. But a book is only a bona fide bestseller when you reach good numbers, and when a publisher goes into your second reprint. So I'm really happy to share that the first print run was sold out, and my publisher got into a second reprint. So it's the readers who've made it a best-selling book. So I'm really, really happy that whatever mix of stories, whatever the mix of intentions the book has come out with is resonating so well with the readers and is being loved by people, far and wide, not just in India, but also outside Neeta.
So you really think that the readers have actually connected with the essence of your unique experiences?
Sorry, come again?
I mean, you actually you're saying that the readers have actually connected with
Yes,
the
yes,
essence of
yes,
your
yes,
unique experiences.
yes, absolutely. Goes without saying. Absolutely. So
So,
true. Quite right.
and do you think any of these celebrities have read your book? Any of the some people there?
What I did was when I was working on the chapters,
Yeah.
with a whole lot of them, I sent their chapters to them. So, Mr. Shroff is not very much into reading. And he sort of, if he likes you, he likes you. And he'll say, yeah, go ahead, Biru, it's all good. I'm happy with what you've done, right? That's his characteristic style. But Sharmila ji loved her chapter. Poonam Dhillon loved her chapter. Menaka ji was very happy with what I've written about her. Dr. Bedi was so happy and so congratulatory when she read her chapter. Shujat Bhai was again very happy with what was written about him. Well, Shujat Bhai did not even read, but he was happy with the sense of it really. So a whole lot of them have read. Hrithik Roshan, like I said, was very very happy with what how this chapter turned out. So a
All
whole
of
lot of them
them.
were very appreciative. Neeta. Yes, they were.
This is the best
Those
part.
who read it at least.
This is
Not
definitely
all.
best part, when you're writing and they're acknowledging
Yes,
you're writing
yes,
about
yes,
them, that
yes.
that gives you
And the
satisfaction,
other thing is with
acceptable.
books like that, Anita, you could have gone the other way as well. I'm telling you that the book is done well. The readers are telling me the book is done well. The publishers are telling me the book is done well. What is so gratifying to note, and what makes me so happy, is that the book is done well in spite of not being sensational. When you do a book like that, which is centered on hotels and celebrities and big names out there, you could have made it very sensational and spicy and unnecessarily, a raunchy ride. It's none of that, and yet it's talking to people, it's talking to readers. Readers are relating to it, they're reliving the stories, they're connecting with celebrities, celebrities of now, celebrities of yore, and that I think that's a very fascinating part of the book, and a very good aspect of the readers as well, that they're relating to something which is not masala, which is not hype, which is all real. It's all pure heart, and they're loving it. So I think that's a very happy outcome for me as a writer for this book.
So how do you think that writing this book really changed you as a person? Because this is like your baby now.
Yes, it
It's
is.
something,
I'm a proud mama.
yes,
Um,
proud
it
mama of Barkat and
Oh, Barker, baby Barker, definitely that's number one. That's a non-negotiable. Otherwise, who's going to be upset with me? Baby Barker's all moody. Otherwise, she's the
yes.
boss girl of the house. But no, it's the happy realization, Neeta, that I am a good storyteller. That people will enjoy my stories.
Yes.
That's the biggest discovery. A lot of us writers, we write for our own selves as well because we are in a mood to write, but at the end of it we all want our word to be read by somebody else and to be accepted by somebody else, to be acknowledged, to be appreciated. So this book has brought that acceptance for me, that people are enjoying my writing and that they're finding me to be a good enough storyteller whose stories they will, sit up and listen to, or curl up and lie down with and enjoy it. So that's a great feeling, really, as an author.
And what did you really find yourself, something special about yourself while writing this book? Something that you discovered, something that
Um,
you felt that, yes, this is me, yes.
And no, nothing special in that way, really.
Uh-huh.
But that, I like to. I read a very nice quote today morning, just today morning. They say that it's Einstein has said that time is, you know, there's nothing called time. It's I'm again paraphrasing Albert Einstein's quote. Time is just there, the past, present, and tomorrow. It's fluid. And then somebody goes on to say that visualization is dream of tomorrow, and remembrance is dream of the past. So what this book has also told me is that I love the dreams of the past as much as I would want to look ahead towards my future. And I think nostalgia, right, is a very warm, woozy feeling that it leaves you inside, and makes you feel happy and makes you feel sort of content and warm, and I guess caring in some ways. So I think a ride back in time has helped me sort of, relive that moment, really, relive that life that I thought I'd left behind. But no, it's very much a part of me.
Oh, so beautifully explained. So, any
Thank
future
you.
plans? What are you working on now? And what is it that next we can expect from you, apart from the second part of this book?
Well, there are a few projects that I'm working on, definitely. One is a biography of a famous personality. Cannot reveal more than that at this point of time for obvious reasons. But there's also a string of other books. There's a book I want to write on grief. Grief has been my biggest playmate, really. And we all have experienced grief in our different sort of, stages in life. And I feel that's something that I feel morally bound to, put my heart in and bring my heart out, in my words. I feel that's going to be also something that will resonate very well with the readers, because
Yes.
I speak their language, I speak everybody's language, and I speak everybody's emotion in that. So that's one thing that I'm very, very excited about. Then there's a book on dogs that I want to do. Definitely, I'm a dog ma, so definitely that's one on the anvil. And then, given my background in hotels and my fondness for the world of hoteling, there's a book on food that I'm working on as well. So those are a few things. My agent has a few things up his sleeve as well. He wants me to do real life ghost stories from the hills. So that's one thing that at one stage, I will try and finish. I've begun working on that, but that's something that I would like to, finish as well and go on and wrap it up.
No, no, I'm going to look forward to each and every book of yours, particularly
Thank you,
on
Neeta.
grief. That's going to be what everyone needs,
Thank
handling the
you.
grief part.
Yes, yes, that's one thing that I'm very, very
Everyone wants
excited
that,
for.
that is
That
the
part.
inevitable, but we kind of push it in the back. So
And
it's important
with
to me.
grief, no amount of theory helps. There
Yeah.
are theoretical books written on grief. There are a lot of philosophical thoughts written on grief. But grief is so personal,
Yeah.
and it's my grief. It's the road I'm walking on. It's the path that I have to traverse. So I think when you write a very personal account and a personally motivated book, I think that's going to speak a lot more than any word of theory would to anybody. And that would bring, I think, my also intention is with that is that it should bring respite to a whole lot of people. It's going to be cathartic for me, and that's how I began writing it. But I hope it brings catharsis to a whole lot of other people, because everybody cannot deny we cannot deny it. We have to just accept and hug grief in our lives, because that's inevitable and it's going to happen to all of us at some stage if it has not happened already. So I think that's the intention with that book. Really, I'm supercharged about it.
I know handling grief is easier said than done, but
Yes, yes.
we need to find our catharsis, as you mentioned. So,
But there's going to be a happy part two of this as well. A
yes.
happy book that's going to bring a lot of smile and warm a lot of hearts as
The
well.
rest of 25 personalities, 26
Yes,
plus 25.
yes, that's true. That's true.
It's been so lovely talking to you. So, any two last words perhaps you want to mention here? We missed out talking about the book, or somebody you want to acknowledge? Anything that you would like to talk about here? That
Well, I would definitely like to acknowledge my husband for this because he was the one who
yeah.
pushed me to, he was so dead tired and bugged and bothered with all and bored to death with all the stories. I would come back home and tell him, about who I met and what I did with them. He said, "Why don't you write a damn book?" So
For
first I
once and
got
all, please write
him.
it down.
So definitely him. And then of course my wonderful publisher, Vishal Soni or Vishwakarma, who gave a platform like theirs to bring the book out. And my agent Suhail Mathur of the Book Bakers, who really pushed me and made sure that I did not, deviate from the track and put my energy into the book and brought it out at a certain time. And for ideating alongside me, so definitely them. But also a whole lot of celebrities, Neeta, who have been so special and so nice and who've left such lovely imprints all through the book. You mentioned a whole lot of them. I'm so surprised that out of all the, over and above all the famous names that people have loved and talked about, a whole lot of people have loved my chapter on villains of Bollywood. You
Yeah.
know, so that, and especially Ranjit. Who
Yeah.
knew Ranjit would, bring back such fond
He
memories
says, I
from
look
even
like a
the
villain
younger
only.
generation? So really all the celebrities as well. But just thank you to the readers, who've made this such a special moment and such a special journey for me to, embark on and to hopefully forge, strongly on henceforth. So definitely everybody involved.
No, no. And I wish you all the luck. The book is already doing very well, and it's such a great news that it's already in the second reprint. And I really would be putting the link to the book in the chat, so I'm sure people can definitely order and send the reviews to you. I'm sure all the comments are welcome to you for all your future books. It's always is good to have the readers' reviews. And thank you so much for being with us today. It's
And
been a
Nita,
pleasure.
I want to mention to you that, if you recall when we first spoke on the phone, I told you about the energies.
Yeah.
What a great energy you have, Nita. I want to, put it on record on your show. What a positive energy, what a positive person, and so nice, genuinely. And the getting go spirit in you, we have to get it done. We have to accomplish it. And with so much of niceness, Nita, that's a very unique combination. So stay
So
that way. Thank you for being you, really. Thank you for being you.
you made my day. You made the rest of the night. We are recording this at very, very late. It's already 11:30. So
That's right.
it
Doesn't feel like it.
doesn't feel like it, but it's been wonderful talking to you.
Thank you,
And
Nita.
good that I insisted that we need to record it today.
Absolutely.
It's been a
So
wonderful
good.
experience talking to you. I loved the book, and I'm going to recommend to everybody.
Thank you, Nita.
So thank you for being on Translate
Thank you.
series. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. And wish you the very best in your journey as well, Nita. All the very best. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Goodbye, Pranav.
Bye.